Hey everyone, YouTube's DOT physical expert Dr. Nuesse back again with another video, and in this one we're talking about how long different drugs stay in your system on different tests. And this is actually a part 2 video. I've done a video in the past on the 5-panel drug test and how long those drugs stay in your system. So if you're only looking for what's in a 5-panel, you might want to check out this video. But here we're going to talk about 12 different drugs. So this is going to cover everything on a 5-panel drug test, a standard 5-panel drug test, everything on a 10-panel drug test, and everything on a 12-panel drug test. All right, so if the drug that you're looking for is not part of this list, it's most likely because you're being tested for that drug specifically. It's a special test specific for that drug and not part of a larger panel drug test, either a 5-panel, 10-panel, or 12-panel. So we're going to go through each drug individually. We're going to talk about blood testing. We're going to talk about saliva testing. We're going to talk about urine testing, which is the most common way to test for drugs, and hair testing, which is becoming more common. All right, now first I have to preface this entire video by saying that there's going to be some variability to the times that I quote here, either a little longer or a little shorter even, based on a number of different factors. How long you've been using the drug, how heavy of a user you were, your size, your metabolism. There's a number of different factors that can skew how long we can detect the drug in your system. So the last thing I want is for somebody to hear me say, well, the drug will be out of your system in 30 days and stop using, and then 31 days later go in for their test and unfortunately test positive, because again, there's going to be some variability. So use this as guidance, but these are not hard rules. This is based on my experience, based on all of the research that I've done. I'm going to give you my best guess answer to how long these drugs are going to stay in your system. All right, first let's talk about 2 kind of uncommon ways to test for drugs, that being saliva and blood testing. And we're going to kind of lump them together. And the reason is that really all of the drugs that I'm going to talk about are only detectable for a few days. So we're not talking about weeks here. We're not talking about months that you can detect the different drugs. We're talking about a couple days. So we're just going to say in general, for every drug that I'm going to list, 1 to maybe 3 days it can be detected on either a saliva sample or in a blood test. So we're not going to talk about each drug specifically and the saliva and the blood test. We're just going to lump everything together and say a few days, maybe up to 3 days, it can be detected in your saliva or on a blood test. All right, now let's go through each one individually. All right, I'm going to look down here at my computer monitor for the list. First on the list is MDMA, ecstasy, X, Molly.
Look at your pupils. Well, how am I going to look at my pupil? Well, do something. What are you taking? Did you take some of that X?
You're going partying with your buddies in Vegas and you decide to take some Molly. How long do you have to wait before you can take a drug test? So for the urine test, again, the most common way to test for drugs is going to be a urine test. Urine is, again, about 4 days, and a hair test is going to be up to 3 months. Cocaine, la cocaína.
Our business here today is cocaine, yes? See, yes it is.
If you're partying with the powder, you're going to want to not take your drug test for at least 2 weeks if it's a urine test, and 6 months, maybe even longer, for a hair test. For barbiturates, we're talking about 2 weeks for a urine test, and again, up to 3 months for a hair test. Cannabis, marijuana, you're smoking a little of the sticky icky.
It's too bad, man. I just stopped smoking yesterday. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Y'all stay up, man.
How long do you need to wait before you get drug tested? Well, it's about a month for a urine test, and it can be up to 3 months for a hair test. Now, I've done a complete video on marijuana specifically because it's the most popular recreational drug that people are concerned about being drug tested for. Feel free to check out that video up here. Benzodiazepines, otherwise known as benzos, we're going to be able to detect those in a urine test for about 10 days and up to a month on a hair follicle test. Quaaludes, methaqualone, we're talking about 2 weeks for the urine test, and again, up to about 3 months for the hair test. Propoxyphene, Darvocet, another drug that you can get with a prescription. We're talking 3 days on a urine test to be clean, and again, up to 3 months, much longer on the hair follicle test. Amphetamines.
This is not meth.
Is going to be up to a week on the urine test, and again, 3 months for the hair follicle test. Opioids, we're talking 1 week for the urine test, and you want to wait again about 3 months before you have a hair follicle test. All right, and finally, to round out this video, phencyclidine, PCP. If you do PCP, you want to wait at least 2 weeks before getting a urine test done, and again, up to 3 months for a hair follicle test. All right, I hope this video was very, very helpful and straightforward. These laws are continuously changing. I'll make update videos when they change, especially with marijuana. This is changing and it's an ever fluid situation. Some states are not allowing drug testing for marijuana anymore. So if you want more content like this, please consider subscribing to this channel. Definitely hit the bell notification icon so that you're notified when I do upload a new update video. All right, everybody, until next time, stay safe.